Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with the newest installment of Black Girls on Television. I was writing out my notes for this video, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be a lot. I forgot how difficult it is to review Shonda Rhimes' shows, such as Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. It is a lot, and maybe it's just because it's the season, the opener. I'm hoping I'm not going to regret reviewing these shows. It's just, yeah, this is a lot of information today. Anyway, you guys, this is the review for Empire, Season 2, Episode 1. Scandal, is this Season 5, Episode 1? And How to Get Away with Murder, Season 2, Episode 1. So, let's get to it, shall we? Okay, so let me start with Empire, since Empire is the easiest show to review. It's back. I told you guys before, and I'll say it again, that I have some concerns with this show. The whole time that it's been in hiatus, we've been hearing about all of these different cameos and different people that's going to be on the show. And most of them are entertainers, like singers, not actors. And I was just like, oh, well, every time you turned around, it was like somebody else that was going to be on there. And that was my concern. I was starting to feel like it was about to be like how John Singleton kind of started to get into that whole mode of just putting rappers in his movies and not really, putting real actors in. I mean, no diss to the rappers, no diss to the musicians and all of that, but you know what I mean? It was just like starting to sound like it was about to be real fantastic. Now, it's just episode 1, and I understand that's fine. I'm sure it will get better. This episode to me was just okay. I don't think I expected any more than what we got, but you can see where there's been some subtle changes to the show, and I just wonder how it's all going to play out. So first off, all the cameos, okay? It was too many of them. They were distracting. First, we had Swizz Beatz. Then we had Al Sharpton. Then we had Andre Leon Talley. Then we had Don Lemon. There was mention of 50 Cent. There was mention of Anna Wintour. We had a cameo from Miss Lawrence. Okay, and side note, I thought Lawrence did really well. For him to not be an actor, he did very well. He sounded very good. I was like, oh, I forgot that Don sings like that. Yeah, Don. Lawrence, that was a little a little slip. Don Lemon Lawrence. Anyway, but I thought he did a good job. Y'all saw the little quip that they did about Donnie McClurkin, and I was like, ooh, that was kind of dirty, Lee Daniels. Like, okay, we know that we all have our suspicions about Donnie McClurkin, but it was just like, why did you even put that in there? I don't know if Donnie McClurkin has said any things about Empire since the show has been on or whatever, but it just kind of made it seem like Lee Daniels was taking the time to kind of like, do a little jab at all the little people that had said things about him, and the whole thing with 50 Cent and all of that. They also talked about Tom Ford a lot. I was just like, gosh, I hope Tom Ford is paying for all this product placement. It was just a whole bunch, and I was just like, okay. And then Cookie herself is a whole lot. I mean, when you look at her, she looks like she has the Rashida the Boss Chick syndrome, just all of the everything on, all the jewelry, all the rings, and she got the belt. Did you see the big ass belt? I mean, all the clothes are nice, but when you put all of that shit together, it's just like, girl, it is just entirely too fucking much. Like, we get the idea, we get the point. She's hood, she's just got out of jail, so she still got her hood fashion sense. However, she can afford to get the more expensive stuff now, but so, it's just like, yeah, so that was a whole lot for me too. But the strangest addition to this cameo was Chris Rock as drug warlord Frank Gathers. I don't know whose idea it was to cast Chris Rock as Frank Gathers. Okay, when I hear that name, I'm thinking somebody big and bad. I'm looking at Chris Rock. Chris Rock is always going to be a comedian to me. He's always going to be funny to me. When I was looking at him, I was waiting for him to bust out into one of his, whole little stand-up routines. Like, it was not convincing. I don't care how much facial hair you had him put on. Even though he wasn't smiling, the nigga looked like he was gonna bust out laughing at any given moment. So it was just like, So the casting was strange for me. Okay, Marissa Tomei, that's another one. I'm wondering if she's going to be at least a regular this season, considering that she's, seems to have bought a piece of the pie. We'll talk about it in a second, but that's another one that just came up out of the blue. But so we'll see. But all those cameos, and you guys, are still way more to come. We got a lot of people that's still gonna be on this show, so I was just like, I hope that's not gonna be the case of them just running people through the scenes just to be saying that they was on their show. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get on to the story. So Andre and his wife, they're nervous about the fact that they killed New York Undercover. I'm assuming that she's still pregnant. We didn't hear no mention of Andre and all of his craziness that happened at the end of last season when Brother Man lost all his marbles. We ain't seen none of that, okay? Evidently, Andre done got it back together, and I guess the damn meds is working for him. Their thing is still the same. They're trying to get control of the company along with Cookie, along with Boo Boo Kitty, and along with the youngest brother. So they're all working together to try to get the company back from Jamal. So I told you guys that Marissa Tomei, she's like this big time investor. She has all this money. They're trying to get her to be on their side so they can gain the controlling interest of the company. Except they are sideswiped and backstabbed by Marissa Tomei because Lucius, he's in jail. However, he's always looking. He finds out who Marissa Tomei is. He has Jamal approach her. He gives her an offer that she can't refuse. And so now she's on Jamal's side. Okay. So, that kind of falls through. You guys saw that old terrible ass twerk. Marissa Tomei's character is gay. Aren't they all gay these days? She has interest in Boo Boo Kitty. So Cookie is trying to pimp her out. Like, go on over there and twerk for her. Take your sweater off so she can see your body. Honey, if Boo Boo Kitty ain't did the most flicked ass twerk. I was like, girl, that ain't it. Then did all of that, even slept with the girl, and still didn't seal the deal. That damn Cookie was like, bitch, you couldn't even damn dyke right. That was the funniest scene. The whole damn show. Like I said, Lucius, he still has control of the company, and they even had him streamed into the board meeting, and he was just like, game over, bitches. Okay, so even when he's in jail, child, he's all knowing, all encompassing, omnipotent. Okay, that's what Lucius is. Jamal, he's tough now. He's changed person. He's taken over the company. He's hard. He's still with that old sorry ass little boy. I mean, the boy is fine enough, but he just kind of pitiful. He's a little bit of a whiner. Jamal is he feels like he's got all this control. So he's tough. He kisses him. He snatches his head back and he kisses him in the mouth, and he's looking at him, leering at him. He wants them to be back together. He's got a nice place now, and the little guy asks him, well, what about old boy that you was fucking around with at the end of last season? And Jamal's like, oh, he's a hoe. So I guess him and the little, is the guy Mexican? I think he's Mexican. They look like they about to get on back together, but it's also seeming like the guy might be there. He might be getting a little taste of all this money that Jamal has now. Maybe he's being influenced by that, not necessarily so much wanting to be with Jamal. Jamal did hurt him. Okay, so now it looks like Jamal is going to try to buy him off, and it looks like he's going to be there for that. So, and I'm jumping around, you guys, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of all the shit that went on. I don't like to be going in order because then I have to be like, and so then such and such and such. So I just try to put everything together for each character. But the silliest storyline, you guys, well, it wasn't even really a silly storyline. It was just, I got the impression that the whole Frank Gathers storyline that they started last season, somewhere in last season they decided that they didn't want to go in that direction. So what they did is they hurried up and gave us Frank Gathers in this episode, and just before the damn show was done, it was no more Frank Gathers. Okay, so Frank Gathers, he's this big drug warlord, like I said, little frail skinny Chris Rock. Don't think about that. They call him Idi Amin. They say that he's like an animal, and I get all of that. Okay, Frank Gathers is in jail, and that means that DeRay, I don't even remember what his name was, but Cookie's cousin, the one that Cookie had killed, I don't know who he killed, one of Frank Gathers' people, because Cookie snitched and said Frank Gathers' name, and that's how she was able to get out of jail early and all of that. So DeRay is in jail. and Frank Gathers is in jail, and DeRay is all upset, like, oh my God, Lucius, we gotta fix this. Lucius is like, that's your damn problem. Ain't nobody told you to go shooting up Frank Gathers' people. And so DeRay is all stressed out, okay, tries to talk to Frank Gathers and say, you know, it wasn't me. Cookie is the one that told me to do it. Frank Gathers has DeRay beat up in jail. Okay, and he looking all pitiful and all of that. He calls Cookie's sister and tells her, like, look, Frank is coming after you guys. He's coming after the kids, everybody. So y'all just be ready. So, you know, she's all nervous. And so she goes and tells Cookie. Cookie's all nervous too. And then they get this box. And when they open the box, it's the head of DeRay. Frank done chopped off his head. Somehow in jail. I don't know what they done did with his body. But they done sent the head on to Cookie. So now Cookie is all upset and stressed out. Now the whole time Lucia's been in jail, she ain't went to go see him, but now she got to go see him because she needs him to handle this. So she goes down there, and you know, he's all crying about the fact that she ain't came to see him. She was just like, bitch, you ain't came to see me the whole time I was in jail. Talk to me when you've been here 5 damn years, up here whining about some 3 months. But she tells him that yeah, Frank Gathers is after him and that he needs to handle it. Okay, so he, make a long story short, after he tries to sit down and reason with Frank Gathers about what's going on, you know, Frank was just like, look, this ain't nothing between me and you. This is me and Cookie. Cookie snitched on me, and you know I gotta do this. So Frank Gathers, you know, has his boys around him, and he wants them to kill Lucius, and then we find out that Lucius done paid off all his boys. So instead of them killing Lucius, they gonna kill Frank Gathers' ass. Okay, so like I said, Lucius, all-knowing, all-encompassing, okay, omnipotent. He has the guys kill Frank Gathers. And that's pretty much the story wrapped up in a bow, you guys. And I was just like, I mean, damn, we couldn't get that story like in 2 or 3 episodes. I ain't even saying it got to be the whole damn season, but it was just like they hurried up and finished that, okay? So he's dead, and now Cookie, you know, Cookie, she was so stressed out, she had everybody go to the house. All of the kids go to Lucius's house because she felt like they would be the safest there, and so she went there, and, you know, she told him that it was a long time beef, okay? But your daddy handled it, and, you know, so... yeah, that let me know that they wanted that storyline gone, okay? And so they hurried up and finished that shit out, and now it's just a done deal. Lucius saves the day. What did you guys think about the first episode? I don't think I expected it to be any better or worse than it was. I'm just, like I said, I'm just gonna sit out this season and see what happens. But honey, all these people in this show and all this stuff going on, we'll see. Now, Scandal is the same as it's always been. I don't know why, you know, we just love to see it. And it'd be pretty much the same shit over and over again, okay? This season looks like our girl is back in bed, literally and figuratively, with Fitz. You guys remember at the end of last season, Fitz and Melly split off. So now he has his love of his life, Olivia, there, and you guys, they having a good time. They in the bed, they in the shower, they making love, they all over the White House, just fucking like crazy. We see that they're getting ready for a party. Not really sure what the party is for, but they open with Sally. You guys remember Sally, the old vice president? She has her TV show. It's like a, you know, it's like a Fox News type of TV show. Sally is all over Fitz, okay? She can't stand the office right now. Can't stand Fitz, can't stand Melly, and she's determined to keep her foot just like right on they damn neck. She's talking about they going to this, having this party for the royal family that's over in the United States, and you know, she's getting everybody riled up because she thinks that it's a waste of time and money, okay? Taxpayers is paying for them to have this extra glamorous, extra expensive party, and for what? A whole bunch of royals that they ain't got shit to do with nothing that goes on in America, except for what I believe I understand is the princess was American. The prince married some American girl. So that's hence the connection with America and the royal family. So Sally, I can tell you right now, is going to be a very big problem. I knew it from the very beginning of the show, but we're going to talk more about Sally in a minute. Now, let's talk about Melly. You guys know that Melly won. I think she's going to be the senator, right? And one of them somewhere up in DC or Virginia, or somewhere up that way. It's time for her to be sworn in. Fitz says he ain't going. Damn that. Okay, of course everybody's just like, you have to go. It's your wife. If you don't go, it's gonna be strange and crazy. And he's just like, I'm not going. Fuck it and fuck that and fuck her. I was really frustrated with Fitz, because I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it's terrible what Melly did, but Fitz has done some bad ass shit, and you know, his whole office and all of his team, I mean, they have done some shit, and Melly has been there the whole way. If anything, Melly has been super supportive of Fitz and all of his bullshit. Just the fact that he's fucking Olivia right under her nose. So I was real frustrated with him, where he's just down to the point where, I mean, I get it. She killed a lot of people. She's responsible for that. It wasn't on purpose. It's not like she knew, but you know, I just was like, he is just a fucking ass, because now he's just, you know, he's just over it, and he's gonna be with his bitch Olivia, and that's that. Yeah, I was just like, ugh, I'm gonna be frustrated with Fitz this season. I already know. Abby's running around like crazy trying to get him to go, and he said he ain't going. Okay, his new chief of staff, which is Ellen DeGeneres' wife. What is her name on the show, you guys? I don't remember. I'm sorry, but she don't even care, because she doesn't really like Melly anyway. When Melly tries to confront her and say, like, you know that I tried to save your life. I got all of Olivia's crazy ass people off your back. I saved you and your daughter and all this. And honey, chief of staff was just like, you ain't did none of that for me, honey. You was doing that for you. Let's be clear. You treated me like a bitch. I had to scratch and claw like a damn dog just to try to gain some of your respect. Like, so I don't give a fuck what. Okay, you can go to that damn signing. And if Fitz say he ain't coming, then you know what? He just ain't coming. Fitz said he not coming, and of course, who saves the day but Olivia? Olivia comes in and tells him that, you know, he has to go because it won't look right. Of course, he has to listen to his Olivia, right? So he goes to the swearing in, and he plays the role of the supportive husband. She swears in, hand on the Bible, whatever. But as soon as it's over, he gives her divorce papers and says, I am going to divorce you. You are this, you are that. She's like, I'll never sign it. And he was like, oh, you're smarter than that. I got way enough dirt on your ass to get you in a whole lot of trouble. So what you gonna do is sign this damn paper, and you gonna get the fuck up out of my face. Melly is at her wit's end. She doesn't know what to do. Her last little option is to go to the one man who always seems to save the day when Melly gets in trouble, and that would be Cyrus. Honey, she get to Cyrus Bean's house, and Cyrus got on his flannel shirt. I know little Quandalicia's running around there somewhere with her damn Barbie dolls and whatnot. And she was just like, you got to go back. You got to get your job back. You got to get, Fitz to change his mind, because I'm trying to do this. And, you can be running my campaign and all of that. And he was just like, I'm not going there. We ain't doing it. It's a wrap. Your husband hates us. And that's when she finally realizes, like, damn, he really does hate us. It's a done deal. Cyrus said, fuck that. Now let's skip to this royal family thing. So the way I understood it, the prince married this American girl, which I don't think that would ever happen, but that's how they did it on the show. They mirror the accident of Princess Diane. The princess was in a car with her bodyguard, and it looked like they were rushing through the tunnel trying to run from the Paps. They got into an accident, and the princess gets killed. Her body is strewn over all across the ground, the street, and the paparazzi are out there, and they're taking pictures of her, and they call Olivia out there, and Olivia tries to cover her body. They don't want the pictures to get out, so they rein the whole media frenzy in, go and reach all the paparazzi that they could and pay them off so that they wouldn't put the pictures out. And then there's just a couple of paparazzi that they can't reach. One of them, they find out, is not really a paparazzi, and they realize that this person was there to tip the accident off, to try to get it going so that they would kill them, because they were only going like 55 miles an hour or something like that. I'm really shortening all this up for you, but we find out that yeah, there was somebody there that caused the accident. The idea was to kill the princess in the car. Now we got to treat this as an assassination. We find out later on that the princess was pregnant, that she was not pregnant by the prince. How did we find that out, you guys? I'm sorry. I'm gonna do better next week. I got so much shit that I'm trying to remember, even from my notes. And it wasn't for the prince. She was having an affair with her bodyguard. Again, the same storyline as the Princess Diana. Is it Diana or Diane? Why can't I remember? So then they start to think like, okay, if she was pregnant by the bodyguard, the prince must have had her killed. Olivia goes to the president to tell the president and the chief of staff that she is going to have the prince arrested. And Fitz is just like, you cannot do that. They have diplomatic immunity. There's no way that you can do that. It will start so much mess. And these, we ain't had no problems with these people. We ain't trying to have no problems with them. Yada, yada, yada. This is where Olivia realizes that, oh yeah, okay, even though she is with him and sexually and they have intimacy and all of that, the bottom line is the nigga is still the president. He still has control over you and everything that you want to do. She's very, very upset. She's looking at him. She's fussing at him, kind of like how a wife would fuss at a husband. The chief of staff, and they sitting there looking like, oh God, like what are we supposed to say? I mean, who talks to the president this way? Well, Olivia does, because she's fucking him. She's frustrated. She gets up like, it's the right thing to do and she's gonna go do it. She doesn't have to listen to the president at all. He's like, if you do that, then your ass is gonna get arrested. You're gonna go to jail. She doesn't go directly to the prince. She instead goes to the queen, tells the queen what happened. Okay, the queen is cool as a cucumber, honey. The queen was like, my son is innocent. He loved that girl. He couldn't see no wrong in her, but I know that she was having an affair, that she was pregnant. So then Olivia realizes that the queen is the one that had the girl killed. Olivia's like, I'm going to go tell the authorities. And the queen was like, bitch, you ain't gonna do no such thing. I am the queen, honey. I have diplomatic immunity. You're not gonna go say nothing to nobody. Nobody's gonna do anything to me. I'm gonna go back home with my son and he gonna find him a new woman that, a right one for him, and we gonna live happily ever after. So Olivia, she goes home, she's sulking. She doesn't know what she's gonna do. Then she gets this bright idea. And then, the last scene we find that she goes to where they're airlifting the body, I guess, back home. The queen is there. The prince walks up and Olivia's with him, and the queen is just like, well, what is she doing here? And so the prince was like, she told me that you got my girl killed. So what you gonna do is when we get back home, you gonna rescind your queenship or whatever the hell it's called. I'm going to take over. You gonna live your last few days, as granny at the house somewhere, not in the queen's lair. Look, I'm coming up with all these words. And if you don't do what I say, then I am going to tell everybody that you killed the princess and I will have you, prosecuted and yada, yada, yada. So we get word when they get back home that the queen has decided that she ain't going to be the queen no more and the prince is taking over. Olivia goes to Fitz's house, the White House, that would be. And he's like, oh, so I see you went on ahead and did what you said you was going to do. She's telling him like, I don't think maybe you should get this divorce right now. It's just not a good time. She's starting on her career. We need everything to go smoothly. We need to be prepared when we finally do come out. We're not ready right now. They're going to be all over us. It's going to be the paparazzi. It's going to be a media frenzy, and we're just never going to have any peace. I think that we should wait. And she finally gets him to agree to that. Okay, then to seal the deal, they kiss. And then Abby walks in. Okay, now she had been told Abby that her and the president ain't doing nothing no more. Abby ignores that, but she was just like, I think you guys need to come see this. And so when they go in the room, they look at the TV, and honey, Sally, remember Sally? I said the problem. Okay, Sally been all over him the whole damn show. She want to know why Melly wasn't at the state dinner. She wants to know, why wasn't the president going to go to the swearing in? Like what's going on with Fitz and Melly? It's like all this tension between the two of them. So Sally, honey, the pit bull is on everybody's fucking nerves. Well, Sally done finally got what she wanted. She's doing this whole expose piece on the president and Olivia, has pictures of them all over the White House hugging, very intimate pictures. I don't think there's really any that's kissing, but there's pictures of them real close to each other's faces. You can tell that it's not pictures where people would just be talking. You don't need to be up in a motherfucker's face if you guys are just talking. So Sally has let the cat out the bag that Olivia and Fitz are having an affair, and she says it on her show, shows the pictures and everything. So That's how the show ends. So, I think I'm finally kind of happy that, the cat is out of the bag. We've been going along with this shit for 5 years now. So it's just like, something else needs to happen. Either they need to fucking leave each other alone, or the relationship needs to be out. So it's out now. We'll see what happens with the rest of this season. But yeah, it was an okay show. I was all right with the first episode. Were you? Okay, you guys, and then How to Get Away with Murder. I feel like my brain is so fried right now. Annalise is back with all of the students, and everybody's the business as usual. They can't let folks know that they just killed some folks and buried them off, and they seem quite a bit more settled than they were at the end of last season. And I'm assuming that this is all supposed to still be around the same time. So you remember how frazzled they were at the end of last season? Like, everybody seems to be a little bit more settled into what's going on. The big question is, where is Rebecca? Now, we all know that Rebecca dead. Annalise knows it. Frank knows it, and we know it. The rest of them don't know that she's dead. They think that she's run away. Like I said, they're in class, like everything is fine. Annalise is asking questions like she normally does. All of a sudden, Wes walks in. He's a little disheveled. He's late, and he got a fucking attitude. She asked him a question. He was just like, I don't know the answer. Quit asking me. I already told you I don't know it. Move on to somebody else. You don't talk to Annalise like that in her class, okay? But Wes is just over it. And y'all know how Shonda does it. It's always two stories in one. I will apologize. I could not grasp what was going on with that other case at all. It was so much going on, and I know it was probably important to the show because it looks like that's going to be the case that she's working on this whole season. But I couldn't get it, and my intentions was to watch it again this morning so that I could figure out what exactly I had missed, but I don't know what the damn case is. Y'all put that down in the comments, okay? Like I said, my brain is fucking fried. All I know is it's a couple that supposedly killed somebody. Annalise is trying to get the case. Other than that, I don't really remember. But we go next week, y'all. Promise. I'm gonna be better next week. But back to Rebecca. Where is she? Everybody's trying to figure out where she is. They know that she texted somebody that said eggs 911 lawyer's house. They are concerned about that person, that whoever she texted, what that person might know. We got the black girl is doing a little investigating on that, trying to text a person and figure out who they are. We have Wes, he's looking all over for her. And I was just like, wow. And so I guess Wes really don't remember all that shit that, him and Annalise talked about at the end of last season. So I was just like, okay, Wes, either he crazy or he really didn't kill her. So he's looking all over. Frank thinks that Wes did it. Annalise thinks sort of that Frank might have done it. Annalise finally tells Wes that, they know where Rebecca is. She's at some hotel and she's safe. She's just trying to keep a low profile. She was trying to ease Wes's mind. But let's skip over to Nate. Okay, now you guys know that Annalise set up Nate because her whole feeling was that she could get him off. But she can't represent Nate because she was having an affair with him and everybody knew it. So she had him at the end of last season. Remember, she was telling him to contact this lawyer. Well, it turns out that this lawyer is an old friend of Annalise's back from when they were in law school together. That lawyer shows up at Annalise's house like, okay, you want me to represent him, but I don't know what's going on. I need to know what the fuck the story is. Here we get Annalise, the helpless, upset Annalise, like, I can't tell you. I can just tell you that he's innocent. And the lawyer's just like, well, you want me to do all of this for you and you can't tell me nothing? Annalise was just like, no, I knew that you could do it. And the lady goes and talks to Nate. She's able to deduce that Annalise set him up. I guess she decides that she is not going to take the case. So Nate calls Annalise and was just like, you bitch, you had me drop my lawyer and call this lady, and now this lady just tells me that she's not going to represent me. You have set me up. You're trying to get me sent away to jail, and that's fine. I'll go to jail, but guess what? Like Mimi, guess what? You gonna be going to fucking jail right along with me. Okay, so now Nate is pissed. Annalise was just like, no, I was trying to help. But Nate is pissed off, hangs up the phone on her. So Annalise goes to her friend. She's all helpless and upset. And her friend was just like, you had me go over there and you want me to represent him and you set him up, and she was just like, well, she didn't deny it. And she was just like, why would you even go through all this? Like, did you guys kill her together? She was just like, no, she was trying to helpless Annalise. Okay, the battery is fixing her. Let me plug my thing in, you guys. Okay, so where was I? Okay, I think I was saying that Annalise was trying to convince the girl, the lady, that, she didn't set him up, that she wasn't a bad person. And I know I skipped a part. The lawyer is just pissed with Annalise because she just feels like Annalise is trying to use her, and evidently Annalise has used her in the past, made the girl do some things that almost fucked up her career, and she was just like, you don't get to do this shit no more. You are not fixing to fuck my career up again, okay? Now, I did shit for you, and it didn't work out. I'm not doing this again. So while Annalise was at the house, make a long story short, she gets to turning on her feminine wiles, and the next thing you know, her and the lawyer get to kissing. I said, oh shit, that damn Annalise done turned out the lawyer friend too. I said, this Annalise, no, that kitty cat must be something fierce. The ill nana bitch. She got white men and white women and young boys, okay? Everybody want to get with damn Annalise. I said, okay, Miss Annalise, child, I didn't see that shit coming. I was just like, oh my goodness. Then I started thinking like, wow, I bet you Annalise is not even bisexual. I think she just uses she's so manipulative. You can always see that she's thinking ahead. She thinks so many steps far ahead. The mind of Annalise, you can see, she just lines her shit up and then she just waits for it to play out. I don't think that she has feelings for that lady or anything. I think she was trying to get her back on to represent Nate. And the lady was just like, I think about you all the time. I said, oh, she just as smitten as she can be. Like I said, it's that ill nana. I ain't mad, Annalise. This is where I stopped taking notes. I'm sorry. Again. I'm gonna do better next week, you guys. But it was late. I was tired and my back was hurting. My hip. This hip is fucked up, you guys. So I don't even really remember what the important shit was. But somehow we get to the conclusion that it wasn't Wes that killed the damn child. It wasn't Frank that killed the child. Annalise is able to figure out that it was actually Bonnie. We get a flashback of Bonnie when she goes down there and talks to Rebecca. She puts tape on her face and she puts a bag around her head. Bonnie is the one that did it. Annalise confronts Bonnie. It was just like, you didn't do that for nobody but Frank. Okay, because you guys remember Bonnie had that little thing going with Frank for that minute. So Annalise was just like, you are a murderer and you're a liar and I don't know you. Bonnie was trying to say she did it for Annalise's shit. Annalise is fucking with everybody around there. I wouldn't be surprised if she ain't whipped something up on Bonnie at one time either. Bonnie has some strange obsession with Frank and Annalise. Maybe they hooked up the threesome at one time. Child, I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. It's so crazy. But Bonnie ain't wrapped too tight, Annalise. I'm gonna need you to watch your back around her, okay? But lastly, I guess everything is all good. They got the lawyer back. She gonna work with Nate and all this. Annalise takes all of her kids out. They go clubbing. Annalise got her good wig on, honey. And she out there dancing. They having a good time. Did you see how she was dancing up on Wes? I was just like, now what is this? It's so damn uncomfortable. Okay, because we keep thinking that Wes is her son. But then Shonda always throws these kind of scenes in there where she's almost too close, inappropriate. It's almost not a relationship that a mother would have with their son, even though she hasn't never really been around him, but it's just weird. I can't put my finger on what the fuck Wesley and Annalise is, what they are, but yeah, she's having a good time. But we get this flash forward of 2 months later. We see Annalise shot in the middle of this mansion. I'm assuming that it's the mansion of the couple that, remember I was telling you guys, I don't understand what their story is. They're connected to this some kind of way. Annalise is shot in the middle of that mansion. I believe that's where they are. We see Wes running out. He's on the grounds and he's looking all frantic and upset and scared. Annalise, it looks like she's been shot in the stomach and she's like gasping for air and there's blood and shit everywhere. So we're going to find out what the fuck, who shot Annalise and why they shot her. I guess that's what this season will be about. So all of that, you guys. I know it didn't make the best sense. I'm sorry, but these shows are hard to review. And that's why I said I hope that I'm not going to regret doing it. For some reason, last season didn't seem like it was this stressful. But when I was writing out my notes today, I was just like, oh my God, this is a whole lot. This video is going to be really long. I'm going to try to edit it down. But that's it, you guys. So I enjoyed How to Get Away with Murder. That is my my favorite show out of the 3 that I've done, and I actually think that was the best show out of the 3 that I've seen this week. How to Get Away with Murder, and then Scandal, and then Empire. But like I said, I'm sure that all 3 of the shows will get better as the season goes on. First episodes is, we just got to get in there, and we got to get comfortable and remember what's going on and get settled in the storylines and the plots and all of that. So it's gonna be all right, you guys. I still have hope for Empire. I think they'll be okay. I'm just concerned. That is it. You guys tell me what you guys thought about all of the shows down in the comments section below. Alright, you guys, so that's it. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.